the young man accidentally dropped a piece of instant noodles into the sand model. The next moment, on the ancient altar, a pillar-like instant noodle fell from the sky. The empress, who was praying, was very confused. She stepped forward and smelled it. The noodle surprisingly had a beef aroma. The empress thought it was the result of her prayers to the heavens, but little did she know, this miraculous gift was just a leftover piece of instant noodles. The man had received an anonymous package that day. He opened it to find a model of a building. Inside was the world of the 20th century, the world where he had lived in the ancient past. He was once a great general in the ancient times, but was betrayed and killed by treacherous ministers and enemies. This led to his unexpected rebirth in the modern world. Helpless, he had to adapt to modern life. Now, seeing the familiar ancient world before him, he was overwhelmed with excitement. But just then, the prince stood up and stopped the empress. He instructed the empress dowager to silence her. The people were spreading rumors that the famine was caused by the empress's immorality, that she had angered the heavens. If the offering failed to bring food, the people's hearts would surely turn against her. The empress dowager agreed. If the empress couldn't bring food after this offering, she would be deposed, and the prince would take the throne. The man, who was loyal to the empress, saw her humiliation and was so enraged that he crushed the instant noodles in his hand. But before he could react, the leftover noodles fell into the sand model. The empress, seeing such a large piece of noodles, immediately ordered for it to be cooked. She instructed the ministers to eat and fill their stomachs. To everyone's surprise, when they took a bite, the noodles tasted like beef. The empress praised the noodles, saying they were even more delicious than the royal banquet. In order to help the empress end the famine, the man threw a whole box of expired instant noodles into the model. The next second, they fell from the sky, nearly hitting everyone. At first, they thought it was a meteorite. The end of the world had come. But when the palace maids opened the bags and saw they were filled with noodles, they realized it was a divine miracle. However, the prince was visibly displeased, his teeth grinding with frustration. He had just bet with the empress that if she couldn't solve the famine, she would have to hand over the throne to him. But after the empress's offering to the heavens, she had truly brought food. He tried to argue that it was only one pack of noodles and wasn't enough. But just then, two soldiers came in carrying bags of noodles. They informed the empress that noodles were now falling from the sky everywhere. Soon, more soldiers reported. The noodle supplies had already filled up the royal granaries. At this point, everyone believed that the heavens were showing their mercy. They all kneeled and thanked the heavens for their grace. The empress's wish seemed to have been fulfilled. But before she could enjoy her happiness for long, the soldiers guarding the city came to report that the northern wasteland army was invading. The enemy was already at the city gates. The empress quickly rushed to the city wall to oversee the defense. But within an hour, the soldiers were in disarray. The empress was filled with despair, but she refused to be a slave to a fallen kingdom. She grabbed a general's sword by her side and was about to take her own life.